And then you have nightmare mode where you take 500% more damage.
Oh god. Nightmare mode.
Could you
I
imagine
feel
trying
like
to
that's
corpse run? Like the hound would look at you and you'd fall over. Like
it would be like Pokemon shit, like use glare.
yeah, Smolder.
Smolder.
Before we get into the show, I just wanted to say, due to technical difficulties and the stream taking in absolute shit, the last 3 minutes of this episode are lost to the ether. But aside from that, it's a great episode. Hope you guys all enjoyed it as much as we did making it. See y'all next week and enjoy. Welcome back to ChknAtk. This is episode 17. I am one of your co-hosts, Shid, joined today by our other awesome co-host.
Yep, by our other co-host, Talented. Welcome back, all of our Cluckin' listeners.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Figure we try branding. You know, we can call them our Cluckers, our
The Mother Cluckers.
the Mother Cluckers.
Stop clucking around.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think we
Which
need
actually, you know, I should have asked this why before. Where did ChknAtk come from?
That's a great question. We'll have to ask Derek about that, but it has to do with like I know it's a Zelda reference with the
chickens.
Quokos. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like attacking Link and everything. So I wanted to do, I just need to find time to do it, but I wanted to do like an intro bit to where it's got like us like walking around or something, or like some avatars walking around, and then all of a sudden just like a horde of like Quokos come like out of the bushes.
Somehow, if you can use like our Mii's from Wii or something like that, like create some Mii animated
do that
things.
Or like I was thinking like us like green screen footage, like jogging in place, like running away from them. That'd be so good
To make it real corny and put us on a treadmill.
Ooh, but yeah,
we should get super creative and do a treadmill with like one of those, like we're just on the treadmill, but it also has like one of those treadmill backdrops, and that's like panning behind us, and like the Cocos or however you say them, whatever, are flying in on the backdrop.
The parallaxing background, just that'd be a whole ordeal.
Yeah, it would.
But yeah, so we're into another week. Let's see what awesome stuff happened. So I went camping over the weekend on Mount Rainier and got some crazy star photos. Amazing star photos. It was absolutely ridiculously clear that night. We got there last Thursday, and you could just see the Milky Way through the entire sky over the mountain. It was crazy. We were up there till like 3 a.m. and we took the dogs with us. They can't go hiking on the national park, but they can go up with you and stuff. They just can't go on the trails. So we get up there and we meet this other couple who's up there taking pictures, and turns out they're from Cincinnati. They sold
of all places.
Yeah, they like liquidated their life, bought a Class A RV, and she's a traveling nurse, so they've just been like driving around like doing that and traveling, and like that's awesome. But we got to talking, and the dogs were going nuts in the back of the car, and I thought that they were like, oh, there's people, I'm gonna bark at people. And at about 2:45, when we're about to leave, I go to open up my trunk to put my gear away, and Chewy had diarrhea all over the back of the car. Like, you know, the little holes in the back of the seat where you hook the car seat in. Yeah, she pooped like right in there, so it was like in the seat. But I'm like, I just open it up, and I mean, no pun intended, I was like, shit. So I'm like, how am I gonna clean this? We didn't have anything to clean it. I had a pack of 50 disposable masks and about a liter of hand sanitizer. So I'm
Well,
like,
this is now where you can see where how good your Boy Scout skills are. If you, which I know you didn't do Boy
no.
Scouts, but let's get innovative here.
I'm like, so I'm just spraying the hand sanitizer all over the back of the seat on the cloth backing, and then just wiping it all up with the masks. And funny thing is, the metal nose bridge and the masks really helped to get in the back of the seat and get it all clean. But yeah, that was an adventure. So luckily my car doesn't smell too bad. I got most of it out, but in the morning I drove like a half hour to the nearest grocery store and got a thing of baking soda and
Mhm.
just put that all over the back seat. And I'm like, soak up the smell, please.
There you go. And was this in the Durango or Spike?
The Durango.
The Durango. Did you guys take the camper, like the mobile home thing?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The Lieutenant on Wheels?
Yeah. Yeah, we took that. That's what we got the Durango for, to tow it.
Gotcha.
So, yep.
What's the towing capacity on the Durango?
Like 7,500 pounds. And then the
Gotcha.
trailer is like 53. And then fully loaded, probably like 65. So,
Gotcha.
yep.
Okay.
Yeah. It's it's fun. That was my weekend. What do you do?
Nice. Saturday we went and hung out with her parents. There was a little festival in Seville, which is where they moved to. Like literally the entire festival can be captured in one picture though. It was literally just the downtown square. Reminded me of like dancing in the street vibe with like the size of it in Amherst, you know what I mean? But yeah, they had a couple street vendors there, like two things to eat from, like one, like it was a food truck that had like everything food truck food, and then there was a pizza thing there. Um, but just hung out there. They had a lot of like local farmers and stuff like that that set up, tables there to sell their produce and stuff. So Lynn's got a lot of good fresh produce, cantaloupe, zucchini, cucumbers, tomatoes, corn on the cob. Yeah, I got a lot of good stuff from there. And then Sunday, next weekend's the last weekend for our pool at the apartment complex to be open. And we're gonna be up with mom and dad next weekend, so we decided to have one last pool day this weekend and invited everybody down. So mom and dad came down. Allie and Rick weren't able to come. Um, and unfortunately, Lindsay's parents weren't able to come either. So it ended up just being us and mom and dad, which was an absolute blast still, though. We actually became the life of the party at the pool. You should have seen dad, dude. Dad was like, he looked like a teenager and splashing and goofing off. We had all of Viv's water toys, like squirt guns and stuff like that. And dad was doing like James Bond, like diving shots with the gun, like
Wow.
diving sideways and shooting. And we had those water balls, that absorb the water. And he was throwing those towards me, and I was using one of the like tube sprayers as a baseball bat and like just driving stuff through the pool and everything. So we were goofing off, having a good time. But it was a lot of fun. So yeah, that was relaxing weekend though. Um, yeah.
That's funny that
So
you say you went to like a little festival thing. Um Sorry, I was chewing my broccoli. Um we we were really hungry one day, like Saturday or something, and we're like looking around for stuff to do. And there was a garlic festival that was like 50-minute drive from where we were. So we're like, what the hell's a garlic festival? Like, we're looking it up. It's like garlic cuisine. Come get good garlic, leave with garlic sauces. And we're like, okay, who doesn't like garlic? Let's go get some garlic. So we go there, and it's it was on a fairground, but to say it was a fairground would be like not fair to the term fairground. It was like it was like a dirt racetrack on the side of like a 2-lane road that just had a sign that said fairground. And so it's like a tiny fairground, and they had like 4 food carts that didn't even really have like any special garlic food. They just had food with garlic on it. So you had like an elephant ear that had garlic butter and Parmesan cheese, but it was still the sweet dough that's used for an elephant ear.
Ew.
So I mean, sweet and savory. It was good. It was interesting, but it's like okay. And then I went over to the other place, and they had like fair like corn on a stick, like an ear of corn on a stick, but it just had garlic like sprinkled on top, like raw garlic. I'm like, okay, I see where this is going. And then there was one with like garlic pizza, which that was pretty good, but um, it was a disappointment in the lack of creativity in the cuisine garlic cuisine department. But the funniest part,
I want to see Chef Ramsay go to this place and
the the funniest part was we're like, okay, we got done eating. We're like, let's go look around, see what kind of stuff they have. We were looking for like garlic truffle oil, and they didn't have the oil vendor that we usually get our oils from. But we went through one of the areas where they're selling the stuff, and then we go underneath the grandstand, where underneath the grandstand they usually have like shops and little vendors and everything. It was like Vampire Alley or something is what they called it, but it was like just a whole bunch of like
oh, I get it.
vampire.
Garlic
Yeah,
peppers.
it was a whole bunch of like like small creative vendors that you would see like selling stuff on Etsy. They had like their little shops up, but it was all like dark goth vampire themed shit, and like felted bats with their heads cut off and everything. And it's like, okay, I can appreciate it for the art, but this is kind of creepy. And then like as you walk out, there's a sign that says like "Welcome to Vampire Alley" or whatever, and it's got like a cartoon vampire holding like a cartoon clove of garlic's hand, and I'm like, oh, that's funny, but
Did
it
you
was
have
just
anyone
weird.
there fighting over Team Edward versus Team Jacob?
No, I mean, if we asked them, there probably would have been
Probably
a debate for sure, but it was just it wasn't my crowd. Let's just put it that
yeah.
way. It was
I'm picturing the
definitely
way you're
interesting, but
describing this fairground too. Like I'm picturing the way it was set up as like two guys just like looking at this patch of dirt, just chilling there. And one dude's like, "Ugh, this is hardly a fairground. Don't know how we could label." And the other dude just gets up. He's like, "Hold my beer." Walks up, just slaps a sign on it that says fairground. He's like,
yep.
"There, it's fairground."
well, well, I mean, it was like you could see there were 3 gates to this fairground. There was one, so the 2-lane road, it was right off the right hand side of the road. So the road keeps going. The green gate was halfway through the fairground, right facing the road, like sidewalk gate. The red gate where we parked was right next to a parking lot, and then as soon as you walk through the gate, you can see the yellow gate about quarter mile down the one walkway, like right next to the grandstand. So, and that was it. Um, but but the parking lot at the red gate where we parked, we walk up and the lady's like, it'll be $5 a person. We're like, okay, 2 tickets, and we hand her the credit card, and she just looks at us, and then very begrudgingly turns and like reaches down and grabs a bag, unzips the bag, and goes, I just put the computer away. You're gonna have to give me a minute. And we got there an hour and 15 minutes before they closed. It's like
Wow.
you're literally right. You're not the gate at the sidewalk. You're the gate where the parking lot is, and you're
Yeah.
closing over an hour early. And she sits there and tries to
Right
run
there
the
should have been
card.
like, I wonder
Yeah,
what this says about this festival.
she sits there and tries to run the card like 4 times, and it gets denied, which she was saying. But she's like, what's going on, what's the problem, and looks, and she forgot to plug in the ethernet cable into the laptop. So it didn't have internet, and Jamie and I are just sitting there like going through her purse like, can we find $10 in quarters Like, can we just like do we have $10 in change that we could just hand her?
I would have made something like, oh, hour and 50. You're already putting this away, so like, what is there like a like matinee or late arrival price or something? You know, like other places they get
Yeah.
discounts for evening hours. Like, so it should
I
be
mean, if we
350
showed
for
up like
10 hours.
5 minutes later, we probably could have just walked in. Like, but
Um,
yeah,
just
it
just
was interesting.
curious. Because this is from me working at PNC and knowing what merchant services we use. Do you know? Did you catch what merchant services she was using or which card reader she was using?
She typed it in, so I have no idea.
Oh, so you don't know if it was like Clover or Square or anything like that.
No, that's too fancy. The computer that she pulled out looked like a Toshiba from like 2005, and she typed it in by hand. Like, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't even know what it pulled up on my bank account as.
Yeah, not gonna lie, I get nervous if somebody like pulls out like a Square reader. I don't like Square. I don't trust Square.
Why?
Again, um they're not like federally regulated, like it being bank offered or things like that. So they have lower security parameters to like lower standards of security to meet, I guess, and stuff like that, and da 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 da, and information and privacy sharing and da 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 stuff like that. It's I don't know.
Just
I
don't
see
run the
too many
card as
things.
just don't run the card as debit. You'll be good.
Oh yeah,
It's
that
all insurance.
or only use a credit card because
Yeah.
zero fraud liability with a credit card.
No, I mean, I don't. I have way too many other things to worry about rather than that. So
Yeah.
I'm not. That's not a hill that I'm gonna die on. Let's just put it that way.
That's something though that I do like find myself looking at it, like if I go to like independent vendors or things like that now and stuff like that, or mom and pop businesses and stuff. I like find myself paying attention to what merchant services they use or what hardware they have and stuff like that. And then if it's, I get extra giddy if it's Clover because I like Clover. I knew about Clover before I started working at PNC though, because when I worked for Pizza Fire, that's what we used.
Their
And
hardware is
hindsight,
pretty.
it made, huh?
Their
Clover.
hardware is pretty.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's sleek. It's very sleek. Yeah. Um, but in hindsight, it makes sense that Pizza Fire had Clover because all of Pizza Fire's business accounts were with PNC, so it makes sense. Um, but I really enjoyed Clover both now from operations side, from using it at Pizza Fire,
Mm-hmm.
and I can appreciate it more now knowing the ins and out of it for working through PNC. So yeah.
Interesting.
Hey, I got a
You up?
question actually. I
Mm-hmm.
see you're wearing a Destiny shirt.
Yeah.
Um, was there ever any like competitive Destiny or anything like that?
What do you like? Like how? What do you mean? I
Well,
mean,
like in
they
World of
have a
Warcraft,
compet.
because
Oh no,
because I know how like you have raids and stuff like that in Destiny. Just didn't know if they ever had like competitive raid races in
not in
Destiny
the
like
way
they do
that
in WoW.
WoW is, but yeah, they did, but not that big. Like
Gotcha,
there's groups and stuff that do it for sure, but
gotcha. I was just curious on that. Yeah, I've been watching, kind of talking about that. I've been watching the Great Push lately. Um, and that's what I was just looking up on the side. The highest key level run for the Great Push right now for season 4 is a level 35 junkyard. You remember the junkyard portion of
yep,
Mechagon?
yep,
Yeah, they're running it on level 35.
nope,
Yeah.
no, just say
Well, the
no.
thing is, if I'm not mistaken, they're still like two keying it though. Um, Hold on, I'm trying to look at it
That's
right
pretty
now.
crazy though.
Okay,
Like,
no, it's a one key, but they're timing it by 340 still. Because I was curious about that, dude. Because when Junkyard first came out for season 4, like I got KSM, and then I haven't touched WoW since I started playing Assassin's
hmm
Creed. Um, Junkyard is ridiculously fast and easy. Like everyone was two keying at least right out the gate. And then when the
hmm
Great Push started, they were three keying 27s, 28s, and 29 still for Junkyard. It was
that's
like I
yeah.
seriously was expecting a timer nerf, but it never happened. And it was like, all right, I guess we're just gonna roll with it. But yeah, those are the top right now. The top 4 runs right now. Okay, so get this. Junkyard 35, Junkyard 35, Junkyard 34. Oh wait, sorry, these are the top 5 guilds with their highest
Uh,
runs. So Ambition has a 35 Junkyard, Donuts and Despair has a 35 Junkyard. Huh? That's their name, huh?
huh?
34 Junkyard, 35 Junkyard, and then the 6th placed guild, their best is a 29 Streets.
That's like,
A
I don't
big jump. Big gap.
understand like how they're pushing that high. Like that's just insane.
Hmm.
Like that is
But
incredible.
yeah, especially since like they're like what we were talking about offline, how like it's almost like the Mythic Raid race when it first comes out. They're extremely undergeared for these key levels.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
they're maxed out eye level, and it really, in theory, like shouldn't be able to do this, but that just tells how well they know what they're doing and like not wasting global cooldowns. Like that's
Oh
what it
yeah.
comes all the way down to. Just like you're just paying attention to global
Yep.
cooldowns, not even just cooldowns themselves, regular cooldowns. But it's impressive when they do this. But yeah, I like the great push to see them doing the dungeon like in my like the way it was meant to be done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously with the MDI, the racing, the speed racing, like grouping all those groups together and stuff like that. That's just silly and disgustingly stupid when they can pull those things off and the skips that they do and stuff like that. But obviously, that's not the way it was intended to be run. Or maybe it
Yeah.
was. Do you think the devs team when they like put these things together, they're like, ah, for speed runs, like this will be an interesting mechanic to see if someone figures out to exploit. Do you think they think of those things, or
I don't
do you think
think
they're
they
just surprised when other people figure that out?
I don't think they plan for like I don't think they put things in that are like, "Oh, this will be used in a specific way at some point." I don't know how to I don't think they put in a quote unquote hidden feature to make it with the expectation that one day someone's going to figure out how to use it in a speed run setting. But I do know that they have said that they design these things with speed running and stuff like that in mind.
So
Especially the
like they design
raids.
it with they have like a design in mind for like maximum efficient route or something like that, and
Yeah, maximum efficient route. When Ian Hazakostas, the game director for WoW, has talked about like the mythic raid race and everything like that, when they've had that conversation on how do you tune this stuff, they do it in a way to where they know that it's barely physically possible, like that you're only going to be able to do it if you execute perfectly. um
Mhm.
but sometimes they get it wrong, and sometimes like a couple nerfs need to happen or something like that. But they're like the people that test it, like the in-house testers and stuff, aren't that good. Like they're not as good as the people competing for the world.
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah,
like it's a lot of it is like just math. It's like, oh,
theoretical.
this should be mathematically possible. um but yeah, but I don't think that they plan something like, oh, let's see if someone figures this out and they'll use it as a shortcut. But
Yeah, I
they
think that's
definitely.
that's the fun way to do it. Then just to see like I created this thing, I'm gonna put it out in the world and then see what other people find out about it that I didn't even think about. And I
Mhm.
know for a fact there was one of those with season 3. So I don't know. I know I streamed a couple times with you when we were in chat just briefly, but how much you picked up on the level 10 affix for last season?
Okay.
the encrypted affix. So every so many groups, or there were so many like mobs throughout the dungeon that had these relics that pulled with them, and there were three relics. There was an relic, a Vi relic, and
Yeah.
why can't I think of the other one? Doesn't matter. A woe relic. Depending which relic you killed first, it spawned another ad. And then when you killed that ad, it gave you a buff. It gave the entire group a buff depending on which one you killed.
Yeah.
And the woe relic gave you a shroud ability. So everybody had their own invisibility where you could literally run past it. There were a couple mobs that could still see stealth, but for the most part, you were great. And it gave you 150% speed increase too. So it was faster than mounting if you're in a mountable dungeon and stuff like that too.
Okay.
What Echo figured out to do, if you remember in Theater of Pain, the Ghost Wing, that you had the platforms that you had to go from,
Yeah.
couple pools before those platforms, there was one of those relic packs. They killed the woe relic, got the buff. Oh, and when you're shrouded, you take 25% reduced damage too, which helps with fall damage and things like that too. Um, they also all played certain specs, like they had a Pandarian in there for to help reduce fall damage and stuff like that. Da 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 da. With the speed buff, they found out you could leap from that first platform all the way down to the second to last platform
Are you
because of the
serious?
speed buff, and they would then put like use a bunch of fall abilities and stuff like that, like slow fall abilities,
Wow.
land on that platform and then skip like three of them.
That where was that
And
when
then
we
on
were
top of
doing
that,
it?
well, we wouldn't have been able to do it without the woe buff, but
I
on
mean,
top of that though, they would have one person go ahead to one of the other platforms though and quickly aggro something, come back and then jump off, and those mobs would then snap onto this platform too. So they would still do like a huge ad group AoE pool there too. It was stupid what they figured out.
that's I
And then
wonder
it
if
was
you
funny,
could do
like
that with the potion of swiftness and like slow fall and stuff.
maybe, I don't know, was swiftness 150% speed
I don't
increase?
know. Maybe.
Oh. But yeah, it was interesting. But yeah, what always got me though, in the MDI, the speed runs versus the Great Push. The Great Push is more just like it's straightforward. Like you go in and there's nothing really to hide from like one team to the other versus strategy. You know what I mean? It's pretty clear cut strategy for
Mhm.
everyone. But MDI, like especially when you're going through like time trial rounds and stuff like that, like you're not trying to reveal too much in case, for the things that you found out that maybe other people don't know, because you don't want people to, get the edge by rewatching your videos and stuff like that or streams or whatever. Because that's what happened with this is it wasn't until like the semifinals of like not the global finals, but just
Mhm.
like the US or whatever finals it was, that yeah, they finally did that. But they didn't do that in any Theater of Pain beforehand. And then once they revealed their hand, everybody started trying it after that, you know.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, that's one thing that I thought was, I don't know, I kind of like and kind of dislike about the raid race, the speed runs is everyone comes up with a different, it's cool to see the different strategies, but the way that they like keep them hidden for as long as they can, and then I don't know, it's all strategy, I get it, but yeah.
Well, aspect of the pack is 30%, and
Oh,
then you
you're
got
looking all the speed
you
stuff.
got swiftness, which is 50%. So you're at 80% there. Um, that's mage. There's probably oh, here we go. Body and soul increases your target speed by 40%, so you're at 120.
Oh, you're talking about stacking everything.
Yeah.
You got to have the right group comp for that and everything though.
Yeah, you would need a hunter, a priest. There's got to be another way to do this. You could get to 150 if you were a shaman. You could ghost wolf. Yeah, I mean, there's got to be a way to do it. But yeah, that's kind of funny. Oh,
That would
drum.
be
Oh no,
interesting.
that what?
The way you're talking about this, it's making me think of like because obviously that would only be able to get like one person to the platform. It would need to be a shaman who has a because the priest can target somebody and do body and soul, right?
Body and
Or
soul is a 3-second buff to anyone that you shield. So you can
yeah,
apply it to everybody.
so only the shaman in theory could make this in that scenario then, because he would have to have aspect of the pack, which hits the whole group. The priest would shield him, and then he would ghost wolf. But the other ones wouldn't have the ghost wolf, so they wouldn't be able to make it.
Is there
But
a
that gets me thinking, like, do you ever think WoW would or Blizzard would, well, I guess Microsoft for the future. But anyway, do you think they would ever bring in hybrid, or I shouldn't say hybrid, but like dual
there's
classes?
a is it called Ascension? There's a private server that does that. You can literally you can make your character however you want. It has every talent tree and skill available to the player, and you can purchase it with talent points and like experience points and stuff like that.
That would be crazy though. Like I'm not necessarily saying like everything, but like remember when dual specking first came out? What if we just take it one step further and we have like dual classing, where like you have a almost like a primary class and then a minor class, I guess, where you get access to like part of the trees or something like that. So
Here
you
you
could have
go.
like you can have like a priest warrior, which I guess is a paladin,
This
but
is
you know what I mean? Like
actually we should play this. It's called Ascension. Their tagline is build your custom hero. Choose any ability or talent in the game. Combine skills of different classes and conquer Azeroth with this new twist.
it's a legal private server.
Oh, legal my ass. I mean, it's not necessarily illegal because, well, it's not illegal for us because we're just connecting to a different server. It might be against terms of service for them, but I mean, I can't really speak to that. But
Huh.
yeah, this is definitely interesting.
Well, I got another question for you,
Uh
kind of
huh.
in the respect of esports and competitive gaming and stuff. What's your favorite kind of competitive gaming? Do you like player versus player competitive gaming, or like the player versus environment competitive gaming, or what do you like
What
for?
when you say PvEVP, what do you mean?
So like in my opinion that's MDI. Like
Okay.
they're not they're going head to head time wise, but they're both only going against PvE. They're both only doing a PvE thing, you know what I mean?
Sorry, they have a server. They have 3 different server types. They have PvP, PvE, and high risk PvP, which is slay heroes in the world and loot a piece of their gear. That's interesting.
That sounds like Tarkov.
Yeah. Yeah, it says steal gear from players you slay, find treasure,
Can,
loot dungeons and and gear in the open world, and become an outlaw that betrays your faction.
can you insure the gear?
I don't know. They have so this is all built on vanilla as well. They put an entire full Mythic plus vanilla dungeon system into the game.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my god, could you imagine like Blackrock Depths on Mythic?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
took 3 hours before it was Mythic.
This this would be nuts. Like I've never like played this, but it sounds cool.
I think the last thing you need to know for you to be sold on it is, do you have to grind to 60, or can I just come into the game and like make it or have a 60 right off the bat? Because I feel like if you have to grind back to 60, you're out.
They have let's see, level fast. They have higher XP rates.
Huh.
Yeah. You can choose to play it however you want to. They have one called the Resolute challenge mode. Not normal leveling not enough for you. Face Azeroth with custom challenge modes designed to test your skill. 1% XP rate. for the stalwart adventurer. Is there even enough XP in the game?
I was gonna say you're gonna run out of quests. Like I'm gonna be in Felwood just killing furbolgs again until 3 in the morning.
You have one that's called Iron Man mode. You have a single
Iron
life.
Man.
Yeah, die and it's over. And then you have Nightmare mode where you take 500% more damage.
Oh god. Nightmare mode.
Could you imagine
feel
trying
like
to corpse run? Like the hound would look at you and you'd fall over. Like
it would be like Pokemon shit. Like use glare.
yeah, Smolder.
Smolder. Oh my god. I feel like that's the version you play. Like you get super drunk and then you go play and just have some laughs.
Yeah, probably. That would be it.
It would get to the point where you think you're alive and playing, but you're really just ghost running everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, we should definitely play this as one of our nights.
That'd be fun. We should play it on nightmare mode. But yeah, so what type of if and when you ever do pay attention to esports, do you like? Do you like to see the PvP?
Oh
Just straight
shit,
up
yeah,
like,
sorry.
no, you're fine. I'm
Um
just curious on that because I don't really know if you follow much esports, but
um I mean, I really like watching the what is that? Derp 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 competitive Counter Strike and like Valorant
okay.
and stuff like that. So I think it would be more like arena style PvP. Um
Hmm.
would be more my jive. But I do like, I mean, obviously I like the PvE VP, which is like a Tarkov game to where there's
Hmm.
NPC bosses and stuff like that, but you're still going in PvP wise. So I mean, it depends on what you're talking about, like what I like to play competitively or what I like to watch.
What you would like to watch?
Probably PvP, like Counter Strike or
Yeah.
something like that. I just think more it's more accessible. You can jump into it quicker. Like someone doesn't need to be told what Counter Strike or Valorant is about. Like you just
Hmm.
watch and you can see, oh, this team's fighting this team. But if you go and or MDI for that um point, like
Having an
you
understanding of the dungeons, bosses,
yeah,
things
you
like that.
like that type of game, even though like MDI is very much like a well, let's say MDI is a little bit more extrapolated away from the term, but you're still competing against another group. Um,
Hmm.
so it's your group is competing in a PvP or PvE setting, but you're competing against another group doing the exact same thing. So
Hmm.
therefore PvP. But let's just scrap that and say even like Arena, the World Arena Championship. Um,
Hmm.
I think that's even too difficult for someone who doesn't know what WoW
Yeah, just to
is
sit
to get
down and
into. Yeah.
watch and catch up. But yeah,
Yeah.
I can jive with that because like if I were to be completely foreign to Counter Strike, I can sit down and in 30 seconds you can tell me what's going on. Be like, all right, you got counter terrorist and you got terrorist. This specific map, the terrorists are trying to plant the bomb, and the counter terrorists have to either prevent it from planting the bomb, or if they plant it, defuse it before it goes off.
Mhm.
That's all you need to know. Whereas, yeah, whereas the other way, if you're talking about WoW, it's like, okay, so this is a 3v3 format, and
Mhm.
this team is comped with a healer and two DPS, but the DPS are, you got a warrior and a ret paladin, and then the healer is a resto druid, and you're trying to explain what those are versus what the other class is, and or the other team's running, and then they're all trying to rotate cooldowns at the same time, so you're trying to help them understand what's going on there, and yeah, that can be
Yeah,
exhausting.
it just gets a lot.
Yeah,
So I yeah.
I guess that, yeah, that makes sense then. So yeah, like MDI and WoW Arena and stuff like that. Like seems like the audience that's better tailored to are people who have played World of Warcraft and who can appreciate what they're seeing on the screen more.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the other ones, yeah, like dad could probably sit down and watch it and
Well, I mean,
understand what's going on and appreciate it.
yeah, that I mean that's not to say that he would. I mean, he already has a lot of exposure. He has actually that's a good example because he has exposure to both. Like he's seen us
Hmm.
play WoW and he's watched us. So, um, I mean, the Counter Strike just seems more. It's just more accessible. I mean, I've gone into BW3 and seen Counter Strike on the TVs.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yep.
I don't know that I've seen it. Like I said, I know I've seen games showing up on ESPN and stuff like that. Um, but I don't know that I've actually seen it. That'd be cool though, to sit down and watch it there. Um, I think the only reason I can appreciate the mythics and stuff so much is because yeah, literally I guess this goes off what we were saying is literally because I do them myself too. But yeah, if I had to say which ones I would prefer to watch, I think it is a lot more fun to see the true player versus player thing, and skill on skill against each other, who outwits the other head to head. I do kind of like that. So yeah, Counter Strike. Now let me ask you this then. Counter Strike or Overwatch as far as like first person shooter um PvP, because like Overwatch has that extra aspect of you still have the healer DPS tank involvement and stuff like that, whereas Counter Strike it's not so much that, it's we gotta defend the hostages or defuse the bomb, but there's no specific like classes to it. Now does Valorant have classes though? Or just the characters have different abilities, not so much that it's like role specific.
There's a lot of Overwatch inspiration in Valorant, and there's not roles such as a tank, a healer, and a DPS like there is in Overwatch. But Sage, for example, is a character, an agent is what they call him in Valorant. She has a healing ability, so people would play her as the healer because that's kind of what she does. But at the core of the game, Valorant is all about the shooting. Whereas that's where I think Overwatch and Valorant
Overwatch is,
really differ.
yeah.
Overwatch, I can't get into Overwatch anymore because of the fact that it relies so heavily on team-based tactics. Like
Hmm.
not even team-based, but like a buddy system tactics. Like
Yeah.
you cannot 1v1 and expect to just outplay someone. You have
Hmm.
to you have to be like you have to be playing a specific hero that is going to be at an advantage going up against someone else 1v1.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
yeah, I don't I don't like that. Like I like Counter Strike and Valorant to where when you're spectating, when you're watching, if someone's down 5-1 on a match, that person can come back
Still
and
has
win
the
out.
ability to
Yeah.
come back. Yeah. And
And,
I'm with you on that because that's the stuff that's ridiculously impressive to see. Where I feel like the only classes that's possible with an Overwatch is a Widow, um, Genji maybe with the deflect and the speed.
I mean, I've
Um,
seen I've seen some pretty insanely talented maze that can do it. Like they'll just
oh,
freeze you
May
and
is
then
May.
spike you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like May,
Dude,
even Tracer. Or let's go with even the generic cookie
Tracer's
cutter
super
character.
squishy
Let's
though.
go, yeah, let's go with like Soldier. Like you you
Yeah,
can't do that. Like you have a couple abilities that are on a cooldown. Like you
he does have
just
a self
can't.
heal though.
Yeah, but you got it. It's a location heal.
I feel like it's like a Gift of the Naru type heal from
Yeah, like
Draenei. The
it's like
racial heal you can barely feel.
just take it off your action bar. Just it's a waste of a spot. You're never gonna hit that button.
3-minute cooldown.
Honestly, go pull out your silkweave bandages that you've been hoarding from Cataclysm. That'll heal you more. Like
Make sure your first aid's leveled first.
yeah. But yeah, I just don't.
Yeah, you can't really even do it with him.
I don't like. It
Well, I
forces
also
team play, and you get some really really cool fights that happen. Like it's the same thing that League and Dota have, to where it is possible to like 1v1 certain things, but you more so in League because you're building a character.
I think it's also hard to call Overwatch a first-person shooter. I would consider it more first-person combat because not every character has a shooting ability. You know what I mean? Like there's so many different ways that all the characters engage. Like
Well,
it's not all straight first-person shooting,
but I
you
don't
know?
think I think first person shooter, that term is used loosely now. Like it's not
Oh, for sure it
it's
is.
meant to be a from a first person's perspective, and you attack would be
Hmm.
like I would say that if we're talking about the way that combat is handled, I would say Skyrim is a first person shooter. Like you may not shoot, you may cast spells, you may hit someone with a sword, but it's still like an FPS adventure RPG. Is if I was like picking hairs trying to make it fit, I would say that that's not entirely accurate, but it makes sense. Like
Maybe.
maybe.
It's gonna be like the Tarkov description where it said with MMO at the very bottom, MMO aspects at the very bottom. Like that's what that's gonna say too, with
Here, hold
first
on.
person shooting feel at the bottom.
Where is it? The description. I'm on their website right now. Um, Tarkov is a hardcore and realistic online first-person action RPG simulator with MMO features and a
MMO features.
story-driven walkthrough. Yeah, she,
uh
hardcore, realistic, online, first-person action RPG simulator with MMO features that is
they were just
also
going for word
story-driven.
count there, dude.
Yeah,
That's all they were doing was going for word count.
but I mean
And that's the
to be
that's the
fair,
paper that's the paper you would turn into,
mhm,
your high school teacher and she'd be like, "This is a run-on."
yeah, you see her grab for the red pen.
Red, yep.
It's like, but no, I mean to be fair though, like Tarkov is in a like genre of its own. Like
Mhm.
there is
Yeah.
nothing else out there like it. So,
Mhm.
but that is word soup. Like
Word
that,
soup.
that's not even the good word soup. Like
Try
there's
to
no
try to go
spaghettios here.
spell all that in your own alphabet soup. Like, make that description in your alphabet soup.
It would look like those desk ornaments where people try to like write the number of pi, like like, I saw
Uh,
one that was it was a 3D printable model. It was called the
I'm
Pi
wearing that
Lamp.
shirt next week for the podcast now because I have one of those Pi Day shirts, so I'm
Oh, you
wearing it
do?
next week. Yep.
Yeah.
Um, Talking about the multiplayer games though, we were talking about Metroid Prime 4 last week. Did Metroid Prime 3 have multiplayer? Because I remember Metroid Prime 2 did. And in my opinion, it was the multiplayer was a little lackluster. Do you remember that?
Um, no, I don't remember
You
it.
don't remember the multiplayer?
No.
Yeah, it
Metroid
was
Prime 3 does not have
okay.
multiplayer.
So they did it because all right. So I was actually thinking about this all week. What would be a very fun way to, especially nowadays with online play,
Mhm.
to make a online multiplayer for Metroid Prime.
Okay.
I feel like it's heavily inspired by Halo 2 multiplayer.
Okay.
Um, but picture this.
Paint me a picture.
Yeah, close your eyes. I'm gonna paint you a picture.
You do this well
So,
enough. I'm gonna recruit you to be our DM for D&D.
right? Right. So, it'd be 6v6. And I really like, I think what needs to come back is like capture the flag play style or King of the Hill or something like that play styles. Those were a lot of
Okay.
fun. But if you remember from the first Metroid Prime, you had the space pirates that you
Mm-hmm.
fought, you know? So one faction will be space pirates, the other one will be um, Samus's, Samai,
So
Samusai.
so Samasai. Like
Gesundheit. Um, but you get that vibe, right? And if you remember in the first one, the space pirates, were vulnerable to certain
sure.
cannons, right? You had the red ones, they were vulnerable to the magma beam. You had the purple ones to the wave beam, the white ones to the ice beam, whatever. So when you're queuing up in the lobby and you're building your teams, both try to coordinate where some of the space pirates, like you have a hybrid group of like some of us will be magma, some of us will be ice, some of us will be wave, whatever, some of us will be the neutral one. Whereas the Samasais, they will they're coordinating which cannons they're gonna have. Some of them will be running magma, whatever. Da, da, da. Yeah, the Smeeses. um Papa Smeeses, like Papa Smurf. So they're coordinating which ones they have. So obviously, when the game starts, anybody can kill anybody, but some are going to have advantages over other. Obviously, the person rocking the ice cannon's going to do well against the space pirate who's vulnerable to ice. But the space pirate who's vulnerable to ice is going to have an advantage over the person wielding the magma gun or something. Um, so like there'd be that kind of group mechanic put together to maybe
Mm-hmm.
but it's still anybody can still outskill anybody. There just might be slight advantages, but it's nothing crazy. They just do additional damage to those respective classes or whatever. But then to take it one step further, depending on what map you're playing, there's different environmental influences based on, what weapons you're using or something like that, what cannons you're rocking. You would also have the ability, if you remember, there was the suit upgrades where you had like the gravity suit or the phazon suit and stuff like that. So you would
Mm-hmm.
also be choosing that in the lobby. As far as how that would flip to the space pirates, what customizations they do, that could be literally anything and whatever because there's nothing already predetermining that. But ways that these teams can potentially, so you literally customize your character before each match, and then as a team you guys coordinate, to have the best theoretical team put together for the map. But you also have to kind of anticipate what opposing team the other thing's putting together, and then you go at it, whether it's capture the flag and then or King of the Hill style or whatever, or even just straight team deathmatch. But then, yeah, as far as like the environmental stuff, so like you're playing on an ice or in an ice planet or something like that, so the magma beam can like melt some of the things, and it turns into water, and like you get an underwater passage to pop up behind or something like that. So somebody might be inclined to have that zero gravity suit then to run faster underwater in that environment. Vice versa, you're playing on a magma environment, and then you can like freeze some of the things, and now you create an alternate walking path or something. But I don't know, very rough in, but I think that would be kind of fun.
Um that yeah. There's so many ideas there and things to unpack.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of games that are kind of around the similar to Metroid Prime and like the style that that game was done that I've had some ideas on trying to make something similar to it a while back, but
Hmm.
It's a lot easier to say that you have an idea and you're gonna build something rather than actually go and do it.
Yeah, true.
It
See,
sucks because you want to
I
talk about
really
it,
liked.
but like when you talk about it, like the more you talk about doing something, the less likely you're gonna be to actually do it.
Why do you
Like
think that is?
I I don't know.
Do you think it's because when you talk about it, you start to you maybe once you verbalize it, you really start to see how much is involved to complete it, so that it
No, I think it's actually it's not that. I think it's like a validation thing to where like if you talk about it and you have someone else validate the idea and you talk through the idea with someone, that maybe having that external validation is like in some part of your brain enough to like scratch that like creative itch that you originally were like, oh, let's go build something. But like if you were to actually build it and then show someone, it would be a much different thing than if you just like
I follow
verbally
you.
realize the idea and then talk to someone about the idea of it. Like it kind of takes some of that um yeah,
And how do you feel about that?
yeah. It's yeah, I don't know. I've been like trying to sort this
No,
out and figure it
no,
out.
I follow what you're saying there though, because like once you get that validation, you're like, oh, cool, someone else thinks that's a good idea too. So maybe I don't have to make it now to prove it's a good idea. Just knowing that
Yeah.
somebody, yeah, um, it's almost like just getting validation of intellectual property versus actually
Mhm.
creating thing. But see, my whole thing with that, I wouldn't be trying to create that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give Nintendo a call and pitch it to them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
They're going to hang up on you.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean
Do you have their number for me? You
I
interned with
mean
them.
I've worked there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean you could I think it's like 1-800 Nintendo.
1-800 Nintendo. Pick up the phone, call today.
Okay, no, it's 1-800-255-3700.
255-3700. What does that come out to on T9?
Uh well, I mean it could there's a lot of permutations there. It could be a shit ton of stuff actually. I
Uh,
mean Jesus. I'm sure there's some like program that someone wrote that you can type a phone number in and it will give you like it'll spit you out a word that those numbers could make. But yeah. Anywho, talking about Nintendo, have you played the new Pokemon game? The most recent
which
one?
one?
Arceus?
No, I have not. And that one, that's the open world one, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
The one that you were talking about that you don't
Yeah.
like their like graphics or the visibility in it.
I well, I mean the graphics are fine. I think that the world density is severely lacking. Like Breath of the Wild feels like such a more realized, lived in world than what Arceus does. So I think that's just there's an issue with it just feeling
Bleh.
barren. Yeah. It's a good
Yeah, that's the way
game.
you
It just
describe. That's the way you
feels
described it.
it feels empty.
Yeah. So is with this one with that open world concept, is it still like the same format of collecting the badges and then going and fighting the Elite Four and stuff like that, but more of a less linear progression?
I'm not sure.
Or you're not
I
sure?
I have like 15 hours in it and I don't if there are badges, I don't think I got one yet. Maybe. I'm not sure. Um so what you do is, so it's put in like in the genesis of when Pokemon like are discovered. Like everyone, like you fall through like an interdimensional portal and go back in time, and you're like wearing cargo pants and a t-shirt, and everyone's like in their like traditional like garb, and they're like looking at you like, who the fuck is this? And you're like, "What up, fam?" And they're like, "Okay," but you get taken into this village, and you get given like a Pokédex, and you have to go around and like find information on these Pokemon. Um, so the whole thing is about like filling up the Pokédex. So it'll be like go and capture 5 Pikachu, evolve one of them, find one that is over 2 meters tall, or something like that, or like you have like a checklist for
Hmm.
each Pokemon that you're graded
That's a
on.
fun way to encourage exploration, because to
Yeah,
complete that whole checklist, I'm sure you're gonna have to explore the vast majority of the world.
yeah, it's definitely interesting. I
But is
enjoy the
so
gameplay.
is that the main goal though, completing the Pokédex? Like that's your main objective?
Again, I'm
Or
not
again,
sure.
you don't know. Not sure.
I'm
That's
not
kind of
sure.
fun though.
I definitely have not
This is
fought.
their way of developing a Pokemon game where you're like a real life Ash Ketchum, where you're gonna be playing it for 22 years old or 22 years and still be 10 years old at the end.
Yeah. So it says that it serves as a prequel to Diamond and Pearl, but I have no idea.
Is Pokemon gonna create? Is Pokemon about to start creating like a Legend of Zelda timeline?
Yeah, it's gonna be all over the place. Okay, here we go. The player character is transported back in time to the Hisui region by Arceus, who bestows upon them a device called the Arc Phone. And you are given the
The Arc
task.
Phone.
Yeah, no, you're like in. That was the first thing that I'm like, okay, I'm supposed to be back into, like, you literally go around and you collect materials. You're like smashing rocks and wood together to make like a primitive Pokeball, and
But you
you
have a phone.
fucking like whip out an iPhone out of your back pocket, and you're like, beep, beep, boop, boop. You're like, who's this Pokemon? And it's like, okay.
Alexa, what materials do
Yeah,
I need to make a Master Ball?
yeah, exactly. So upon waking up, you meet the new professor. The professor's working with the Galaxy Expedition team, who then tells the player that they fell out of a mysterious space-time rift from the sky above. Yeah, after that, you go find your starting Pokemon. You have to go join the team of the Survey Corps. That you're gonna go look around, find a place to stay in exchange for food. Okay, cool. While exploring, the leader then learns of the mysterious lightning striking down from the space-time, causing other things to happen. Blurb: new Pokemon overworld, Pokemon mechanics, item battle. I'm looking at the Wikipedia thing, and this doesn't even tell me if there's like badges or not. Uh,
Interesting.
yeah, but
Well, aren't
it's
they coming out with a
yes,
new generation with
yes,
Scarlet and Violet?
yes.
What does that take us to? Like over 1,000 Pokemon now?
That's a good question. Let's see. I am currently on Bulbapedia, so let's look at the National Pokedex.
What?
Bulbapedia.
Bulbapedia.
Yeah, You've never heard of
Yeah,
it?
Bulbasaur.
No,
But
bulbapedia.bulbagarden.com or .net. Yeah. It is an egg.
what happens if I type in .com? Bulbapedia. Bulbapedia. Yeah, that should take us over 1,000. Dude, they have some stupid Pokemon out there now.
The legendaries in the new one in Scarlet and Violet, one turns into a motorcycle that you ride and the other one turns into a jet. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, isn't there a Pokemon now that is like a building?
Oh,
Isn't there a Pokemon that's a pile of trash?
yeah, Trubbish. He was from Black and White.
What? What's his name?
Trubbish.
Trubbish.
Like rubbish, but with a T.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, he was from
Stupid.
Black and White.
They've ran out of ideas.
No, no. Okay. Google Meltan and Melmetal. It
Malten.
Meltan, Meltan. He's a steel type Pokemon, and then look at his evolution. Melmetal. He's literally just a bronze nut with some melted like metal as a body.
By the way, if you just Google Melten,
Yeah.
it takes you to a healthcare startup focusing on field of care
That's
or on the
not
field
the
of care.
Pokemon. We're not looking for that. But yeah, Meltan and Melmetal are just the most self-aware Pokemon. They
See,
don't
it was
try to
hard.
be anything that they're not. They're like, "Yep."
It was hard for me to like keep going with Pokemon after second generation. Third generation was all right still, but then yeah, after that, like I don't know, it was hard.
They've definitely there's some of them that you
They're
look at.
woke now.
There's some that you look at, you're like, you're reaching there, bud. Like there's one
I feel
oh
like the
what
same thing with Yu-Gi-Oh. Like um with the trading cards. Like once you were playing and it used to be like, oh, this was a 3 card combination that was like ridiculously strong when you had these 3 cards together. Now they have cards out there that it's one single card that has like all 3 abilities on one or
yeah.
similar things, and it's like you literally just make all the other cards so obsolete. Like that's why if you ever paid attention to the competitive Pokemon
Mhm.
scene for the Pokemon trading cards, they rotate out like cards that you can use in competition from year to year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're constantly having to rebuild your deck and re-strategize your play and everything like that, and that's what keeps it level for
Well,
everybody, I feel like, which
that's
is
how
kind of cool.
Magic does it. Like if you play
Magic does it
competitive
like that too.
Magic, yeah, they have the standard format. Like they have a whole bunch of different formats, but the big competitive one is standard. And what that is you every year we put out a core set. So that's like what everything is going to kind of be based around for that year. That is standard that is standard legal for the year that it's out. Then we do, I think it's like six other supplementary sets a year, and the 3 most recent and the core set are standard legal. But then within there's also some cards that may be on the banned card list for being too powerful or something like that. But every time a new set comes out, the oldest one gets dropped off the rotation.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Magic would be something that I feel like I could get into.
I could help you get into it.
Maybe that's something that we do on Thursdays. We play Magic over Discord.
You can. Actually, it
Oh,
is.
do they have virtual Magic?
Well, they do. We have MTG Arena, which is it's. I don't want to say it's not a Hearthstone competitor. Our Hearthstone competitor is called
Oh, I'm wondering why you're saying "our" again, and now I get it
well,
for who you
because I
work for.
work there.
Yes.
Trying to open my iPad. I don't remember. Spell Slingers is the name of the game that we just launched. That is the Hearthstone competitor. But MTG Arena is it's more or less a like digital version of Magic. There was a digital version of Magic called Magic the Gathering Online, MTGO, or what we refer to it as MitGo. Um, it it was really cool. One of the features, I've never seen this in anything, but if you bought a booster pack in MitGo and you had a card that you wanted physically to add to your physical deck, you could cash it in on your MitGo account and they would mail you a physical copy of that card.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah, it was interesting. But they don't do that anymore with Arena. But
That's what I liked with was that the Game Boy Advanced Yu-Gi-Oh game that I played. You could there was a code section in that game where if you had the card in real life in the bottom left corner or whatever, there's like the 9-digit code serial number for that card or whatever. You can go enter it in the game, and then you got that card in the game too if you didn't already have it from like a booster pack in the game or something.
Yeah, that I like it when they do that. But yeah, Magic, we have one. It's called Spell Table, to where you don't have an external webcam. You're using the one on your laptop.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have an external webcam, what you do is you point it at the desk or the table wherever you're playing, and it actually does like machine learning and like machine vision recognition, and it identifies the cards that you're playing. So then I can mouse over like your playboard, and it shows me the card and everything.
My playboard. That
Yeah.
sounds like a nerdy magazine.
A nerdy magazine. That's a good one.
That's really cool though. That they would then mouse over. That's like some like sounds like some real like future age type shit. So you'd mouse over and it'd give you like tell you what the ability of that card is or whatever.
Yes, it does exactly that. And then you can click on the cards too that people play, and it puts it in like a sidebar on your screen. It's individual for everyone, so you can manage and organize what's being played individually. But I use it when I've played a couple games with this with a couple people that work in different offices, and I just use it to track played cards that are in play. So I'll add them to the sideboard so that I can mouse over and see stuff very easily, and then you can kick them out of there once they get destroyed and removed. But yeah, it's a pretty cool thing that we offer.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Get
Good stuff. Good
get
stuff.
you like a starter pack or something.
Yeah. You have my address.
No, I mean, I don't, but I can find your
You
address.
you do somewhere. It's somewhere.
It, it is in my Google travel history. I have been
Yeah,
there.
somewhere. Because I'll be honest, I don't have yours right off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure I could find it by looking at like our wedding invite list.
Give me my hold on. My dog is smacking the sliding door. I don't know what the hell she's doing.
With their face?
Pause. Okay, so there's like a fly that she's trying to like beat down. Like, and she keeps smacking the door. Yeah, this fly is just tormenting her. I
Is she
see the
trying
fly.
to she's
He,
trying to chicken attack the fly?
she's yeah, the fly is hanging out under my desk on the carpet, and she's like walking around my desk now trying to find the damn fly. Like, such a weird dog.
Good stuff.
But yeah, what would you have interest in D&D as well? They sent me.
So yeah, like
So I
D
got
and
this
D, but
book.
like, don't you all have to be in person for D and D?
Nope, you can play fully remote as well.
Oh, did that happen
Yeah.
since COVID?
Well, no, no. I mean, people
No,
have been doing it for a while, but
I can see that though nowadays. Yeah, just getting innovative with stuff like we're doing. You got cameras up and stuff, and
did
yeah, that'd always be fun too.
yeah, yeah. It would be interesting.
I feel like that's like the closest you get to LARPing without actual LARPing.
Yeah, that's not something I'm interested in. Running around
Like,
screaming
okay,
lightning bolt at people.
so I'm semi interested in that, but I don't know that I'd be caught dead doing it just yet. Like the idea of it's fun, but the action of it does not seem fun.
It just it seems here. Hold on. Do you?
I'd totally be like, you've seen the movie Role Models, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be like, why can't I think of Paul Rudd's character in that there?
Yup. Okay. Pull up. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to show you the video without showing you the video. Oh wait, hold on. I know how to do this.
Put
So,
it on the live stream.
well, yeah, but you're gonna see it late.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay, we should see it now, right? Yep. Okay, it's up.
Is this from Role Models?
No. He's just screaming lightning bolt over and over, throwing like pine cones at the dude.
Or you can be like, or why do I play a shaman? Was that the William Shatner WoW commercial from way back in the day?
Oh
I
yeah.
just like hurling balls of lightning.
I mean,
I play, and then you had the Mr. T one. I play a Night Elf Mohawk.
that they add the Mohawk grenade into the game to where you could like throw a grenade at people and it would turn them into a Night Elf Mohawk.
into the Mr. T, yeah, avatar.
That was
Good
funny.
stuff.
Yeah, they did some dumb stuff back then.
Well, hey, real quick, actually, while you had that picture up, let's show those because I want you to see that, like, I've been playing. Where'd those links go? But yeah, I've been playing Assassin's Creed, and I just got into this today, the underwater part of Assassin's Creed, and it had me terrified because of childhood PTSD from gaming. So watch what you got to do underwater with this, and the controls are super wonky to steer and stuff, and it's stupid.
So this is
And it's a
in
Black
Assassin's
Flag.
Creed, right? Okay.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
So it looks like you're just diving.
Yeah, so you have there's a point in the game where you have to acquire this dive bell that you take down underwater. Pretty cool concept because like the way it goes under,
Okay.
scientifically accurate that there would be an air pocket there.
Yeah.
So you can swim up under it to gas for air. But then you're searching for this part of the game. You have to find medicine from a shipwreckage.
Okay.
Because you're trying to get this medicine back to your home island that you're trying to develop, whatever. So you're going to explore this wreckage for the medicine.
It looks like painful.
Yeah, look at how he's struggling to turn
Yeah,
around and
yeah.
stuff like that. Like, it's super wacky. You got your little
So wait,
breath
can you
bar
only
there.
open the treasure chest from one direction?
Yep.
Okay, now that's dumb. Like if you're having something like this to where you can move in all four directions, you should be able to just hit a button and interact with it.
Like, once you get the controls, it's not too bad. But what made it worse is once you get the medicine, and then you come back, the only way to go back up is to get back to the dive bell. Like, this area now where the dive bell is infested with sharks.
Okay.
And the sharks can, like, come and attack you and, like, eat you underwater, and like it's super, like those jellyfish sting you and everything like that too, and there's eels that'll just pop out of nowhere, and it's just terrifying because they literally will pop out of nowhere, and then it's this super aggressive like little fight encounter thing, and it becomes a button masher. It's like repeatedly hit Y to break free from the eel, and then like stuff like that.
Jesus.
And you just see it just chunking your health, and it's like, oh my god. But yeah, my underwater fear, it stems over into real life just because of underwater things from video games. Because I have the original clip from where my underwater fear came from.
This one.
Yeah.
So
the sewer level in Star Wars for N64.
Yeah, this game is excellent.
It was a blast.
This boss was dumb. I hated this boss.
Call out to the graphics, by the way.
They're so good. Look at that water shader. Like tentacle 40 per. God, the UI is just so bad. It's just a box like that says
Yep.
health. Like,
Yep. Amazing HUD right there.
like we've come such a far way in
I don't
game
know why he's
development.
not using missiles. Remember you had missiles, but he's going with pulse.
Oh, he just died. Yeah, this guy's not good. He's got 25 lives though.
Mm-hmm. He was good somewhere. But yeah, this level and this boss fight is what really made me
Yeah.
terrified. Now that was something
Oh,
I was just thinking of though with this, because the water temple in Zelda, water temples are just always a pain, but they never gave me these vibes because, like, I don't know, your mobility was never hindered as much, I feel like. Like, yeah, you were slowed down, but you always had iron boots or something to like be able to actually walk underwater. And then especially the last boss in any water temple, you're not actually fighting underwater. You know what I mean? You still
okay.
have full mobility like on platform. I think that's why like water temples in Zelda never freaked me out.
So, have you hold on. Have you heard of Subnautica?
No, and I think there's a reason because it
Okay.
sounds like something I would be petrified of.
So, okay, I switched back to the video thing. Let me see if I can get this for you a little bit easier.
Oh, all right, I got you.
There you go. You should be able to pull up the my thing on.
Discord, yeah.
Yep. Okay. So this game, it's a very interesting game. It's all about exploring. Um and but you're exploring the ocean. So you crash land your spaceship, that big spaceship that you see,
Mhm.
crash lands on this ocean planet and you're hanging out in like a life pod that you got to now go and like explore and survive. Um but let's see. Let's get some of the. So there's the life pod, and then the whole thing is about exploring underwater, and just like you can loot almost everything that. Yeah, like he's saying right now, you
Is
go
shit
in to
gonna
make
attack you?
batteries. It can, yeah. There's certain things that are around that do attack you, but most of it, like that, yeah, like that fish is going around stealing shit. But most of it, what's gonna kill you is running out of oxygen or going too far away from your escape pod and not being able to get back in time before you run out of oxygen. But yeah, you can start building like guns and weapons eventually to venture farther away. But it's out for the Switch and it's one of my friend's favorite games. And you can do it co-op, I believe. No, you can't. It's a mod. Darn. But yeah, you go around and you collect shit that you find down in underwater and then go back and build stuff. It's a weird like underwater Minecraft type thing that is very it's definitely has that level of dread that like Echo the Dolphin did way back when. Echo freaked me the hell out. And apparently that was by design. Did I lose you? I'm just sitting here like talking to myself.